Well, it's time for our first competitive match action of the FM23 Head Coach story. We're at our first club. We met all of the players yesterday. You can find that one in the eye above if you missed it. But today, we meet a new director of football, take a look at their recruitment so far, and play our first matches with our brand new tactic. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 2 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for our first games in charge against Buckley, second tier opposition in the Cup, and Aberystwyth in our first league game. However, there is a lot to get through before we get to that point. We've got a new director of football and various other staff in as well, and the new recruitment team in place have been busy and largely pleasantly surprising so far. So if you're looking forward to finding out what they've done and how we get on in these two matches, as well as the tactic I've set up too, then please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe for daily FM23 content. If you missed it earlier, we had part 1 of our Build a Nation save, that one from Northern Ireland with Lisbon Distillery. It will run every day at the same time, check it out in the eye above. Now let's go and have a look at transfers because there's a lot to talk about on this front. And we start with the two men that have come in as staff in transfers that are now responsible between them for player transfers. We've got a new director of football and a new chief scout. So let's see what we're working with. Attribute wise, don't expect much. It's the Welsh Premier League. Liam Thomas is the man and he's not great. 3 for judging ability, 5 for judging potential, 3 for negotiating 2 and on £100 a week. But still, we're not going to bother panicking or worrying about this because we've had directors of football in the past with good attributes that have achieved nothing and ones with awful ones that have done brilliant things. So let's just wait and see what he delivers. Liam Thomas is joined in that team by Charlie John, the new chief scout. Now he's actually not that bad for this level in terms of judging ability, which is 6. And he's got good knowledge of Wales itself. So maybe he's going to be able to pop up with a few domestic transfer suggestions. And then it's just whether the director of football follows them. Because we have got a very new look to recruitment in FM23. And in this save, of course, we're not involved in it at all. We're relying on the AI staffing that are in place to do the job. And so far, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, which for this level and this level of staffing is very good, I would argue, and better than we used to in the head coach early on. We've basically found a little bit of a pattern with transfers this year, and we'll start with the pending transfers. So Lewis Harlin is a player who rejected us, and anyone that they've bid for so far who's at a club has rejected the contract offer, because basically they're saying, the club I'm at is better than you, and I'm getting a better contract, because we can't offer wages for the most part. So for those instances, we had a centre-half from Newtown and we had Lewis Harlin, who would have been a good starting centre midfielder, who both turned us down and rejected contracts. However, there are players that have been signed from free agent deals, and as you can see, one that's being negotiated from a loan deal. Now if this guy comes in, he gives us a massive upgrade at left-back, Harrison Webster. You can see the latest message this morning to say that they've made a new bid, so hopefully it will go through. But he is a really high quality player. 4-star ability left back, good natural fitness, good in the tackle. And if you consider that our current starter is 1.5 ability, we are talking a real different level of talent here. So I'll keep my fingers crossed on that front, but it is fair to say that I am delighted already because 2 players have come in and they are big improvements to what we had, which isn't always the case with these directors of football. So to do this at the first club is giving me really encouraging signs. Let's have a look at them, as well as the player that has left the club. The reason I say player rather than 3 is because the first 2 here, Aaron Edwards who left for free and Cameron Ramsey who left on a loan deal, they were both being negotiated when we joined the club and they were nowhere near the first team level anyway. But the one that did leave after is Joe Palmer. He went to Colwyn Bay on loan. The offer was accepted for all of his wages and I'm not really complaining because as it turned out he was about the 4th highest paid player at the club, and considering he was one of the worst rated, it's a very good steal from the director of football. And when you consider the fact as well that his potential ability is big, he might benefit from regular football, that's something we wouldn't have offered him. And Colwyn Bay, a decent club with competitive facilities, it makes sense all round. So well done to him for that. And boy, has he got a good replacement in. But he wasn't the first signing this summer. The first one, and I was excited because it happened very quickly, was Bradley Bosch. Now he is a big upgrade in goal, and I've got a feeling this year we might need a good keeper. He's still not got the best in terms of positioning, but it's an upgrade from what we've got on the most part. And at 3.5 star ability with very solid reflexes, pretty solid mental attributes and a decent height of 6'1", I think overall it's about the best we could have hoped for at this level. And at 21 on £15 a week, he will improve massively in the future. The one that joins him though has the potential to be even better. That came a lot later after Harling rejected us, after the centre half rejected us too. But 2 days ago he joined the club. He's not match fit, but he will make his debut today. Sean Grinnell, a 16-year-old regen, a Welshman. He looks so good. 3-star ability, 5-star potential. Not the best physically yet, but got decent natural fitness, which is the main thing for us at this level. Got good vision and a good passing range and technique too. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in a sort of creative role, giving us that spark and that dimension we didn't have before. So I know it's only 2 additions so far and potentially a third with the loanee from Newtown. But if we have those 3 players in the club, I genuinely feel we've got a great chance at survival. But with the 2 we've got at the moment, should we just see what difference it makes to what our season preview is? It doesn't make any difference really. We're still 700 to 1. We are still the favourites to get relegated. But I think we've improved. And at the moment, that's the main thing that matters. But with that out of the way, we've got to go and get into our first 2 games. Lower league opposition at home in the cup. And then a league game against Aberystwyth. And I've had to make some decisions tactically, largely due to the injury to that man Adam Davies. So if we go and have a look at the lineup we've picked today, we've got a tactic that we're planning to play for now, and a tactic that we're planning to play should we get the good fullback in, and should we get Davies back from injury in a couple of months. So let's have a look at both of them and see what we're going with today. We've got a few changes being recommended, but I've already picked what I'm going to go for. 86 tickets sold. That is not a good sign, is it? So this is the 11 we've gone for. I'm basically playing at the moment with extra wide men to protect the fullbacks and to allow them to play a bit more defensively, whilst giving us a defence that defends, a midfield that protects, and an attack that just goes for it. We've got 3 men that are allowed to run forward. The main reason I can't go straight to my tactic that I want to, aside from the injury to the main striker and aside to the lack of fullback quality, is that we haven't really got enough midfield players at the club. We've got the 3 that are in there today. We've got Lanceley and Craig Curran who can play there. But if we were playing a front 2 at the moment, we'd have to have Curran up front. And then we've got Cornish who's not even got a real gold star of ability. So we are a little bit depleted on that front. If we can add 2 or 3 more, it may change and we may be able to do it quicker. But at the moment, we're going for the 4-3-3. We're training the diamond in the background ready. And then once we get up to full speed, Davis comes in and we've got a team that looks fantastic. For now though, you can see where the weaknesses are, left back and right wing. We've got no other option on the wing, I'm afraid, so we're just going to have to live with it. And at left back, we're just waiting for that sign-in. So Borge will make his debut in goal. Payne and Phillips are the fullbacks with Thomason alongside Edwards at centre-half. I've got experience and technical quality over pace and physicality and youth. Crowther's in the holding role protecting with Edwards and Grinnell making his debut in centre-mid. And then Lanceley on the right has pace but nothing else. Craig Curran the real quality off the left. And Jake Eyre the man through the middle. And with the team done, I've adjusted some of the tactical stuff and we're going to have a look at what we've got set up. So we are trying to obviously cross the ball low because we've got no height in the centre forward position. But we're trying to play a little bit wider whilst keeping it fairly standard. We were trying to play direct in pre-season and we're still going to play into space. But now we've got 3 good footballing centre midfielders, which is something we didn't expect to have. So we're going to adjust that as we move on. It's a tactic that will evolve as signings come through the door. Once we get good fullbacks in, I'd like them to support and overlap as we would expect from normal tactics. But it's not something we can do at the moment. We're going to have to be pragmatic. What that means is we're going to distribute to the flanks. We're not going to play very quickly. And we are going to get to see the low block, mainly because I've gone for the more experienced centre-half. I'm going to try and force players inside where we've got an extra man in midfield and we've got 2 very good centre-halves defensively. And if we're in a deep position, as long as they don't score screamer after screamer, this tactic could work very well. So the low block is there. We've got pace on the counter. We've tried to take advantage of one of our few assets, which is a long throw. Unfortunately, the man with the long throw is 6 foot tall, which is an issue. But we are going to be aggressive and just see how we get on. So fingers crossed we will have some success. We're into our first game against Buckley. Let's see how we get on. And as we head into the game, there is actually a relatively good feel to the squad. They're fairly confident, most on board with the tactic. We've also got a very nice screen here. It looks a lot slicker than it did the previous year. And we have had our pre-match confidence meeting, which we don't always get. We got a little report saying that we were expected to win comfortably by both board and fans. Doesn't bode particularly well, does it? Although, I guess there's only 89 of them, so they can't cause that much trouble. Let's go and get through the dressing room into our first game. FM23, what's the match engine like? And can we avoid a shock in the cup? Well, with all of the key stuff set, we're going almost straight from kickoff here, and it's Buckley in possession looking confident. Bit slow, but then I guess you would expect that here. I'm keeping an eye on the animations as they eventually go long downfield. I'm not sure we needed to see that. Let's just set our touchline tablet up properly. We want to see latest scores, and I'd also like to see the Buckley formation so we can react if need be. They're playing a 4-4-2. I would expect a lot of that in Wales. Let's wait and see if we can get a chance soon, because the first shot on target is ours, but no highlights yet. Not a good sign. Though we're back with a free kick 30 yards out. Curran onto the bar and hoofed away down the right-hand side. Good opportunity gone. It stays 0-0. We're at the other end with a throw-in for Buckley. Delivered into the box, but there's the commanding new goalkeeper we've got. Now, what can he set up with his distribution? Is it going to be any good? Long downfield, straight to Jones, the left-back. Cleared away as far as Curran, and they're bringing it out comfortably here. Not looking particularly good for us at the moment, got to be said. Though Edwards gets it in to Edwards. Two of them in the team, that's confusing. Through to Air. He was played on by the left-back. Definitely not offside. Ryan Edwards sets it up. Oh, it's been disallowed. I'm so sure the left-back played him on. Stays 0-0. Maybe one's gone against us there. No VAR in Wales anytime soon. And we're back with a goal kick. We are the better side. That is a positive. But you can tell we're missing our star striker, can't you? Though Grinnell on debut nicks it in midfield. And it's cleared away downfield. Edwards hoofs it over the top. Airs up. Away as far as Curran. Down for Grinnell. On debut. Shoots. Oh, it's in. The keeper's made a howler. It's gone straight under him. And what a start that is for the man who's only been here 2 days. And I guess we better praise the director of football, because his new man has delivered the first goal. As Evans has a throw on the right for Buckley. To Moore. Do not throw it away as soon as you get the lead. That's the key thing here. Marshall down the right. Back to Moore. Across the box to Francis. Into Sweetman. That's a stunning save. And now you've got the goal scorer and the goal saver. Both men that have been signed. They are key additions to this team. And they're proving it in just 33 minutes. As the corner comes into the back post. We put a lot of work into these set pieces and it's headed away. Gotta say, some of the animations and touches do look a lot better this year. But so far, it's too hard to judge because we've got a poor team and it's been a poor game. But at half time, the crucial bit of news is that it's Airbus 1, Buckley Town 0. And for as long as it stays that way, it's going to be a very positive start to our time at the club. We've got Thomason playing well at centre-half. And to be fair, with Grinnell and Bosch coming in, and once we get Davis back from injury, add Curran and Thomason, we've got a really good spine of a team there. All we've got to do is fill in the gaps around it at fullbacks and on the wing. As it's a long ball downfield from the visiting keeper, but Edwards intercepts and goes long downfield. Curran will chase it. There's two in the middle. Crosses for Air. Is he onside? Doesn't matter. Jones makes the saving goal. And it's out for a corner kick, which will be delivered with an in-swinger. Curran taking it. Loads of players up. We've got the big men at the back post, and that's what we've been aiming for. Edwards can't quite get there, though. Out for another one. I want to see these set-piece routines work. We've put so much on the training ground to it. Even though we're only training, twice a week. Curran into the back post, headed away again. Ryan Edwards mops up. They're leaving no one forward. That's a little bit cautious, isn't it? Particularly when one down. But as we pass the hour mark, we'll think about changes soon. But there's nothing better on the bench, which is why I'm reluctant. Well, we've got about 15 minutes left, so I think it is time to throw on a couple of substitutions. I'm going to give George Pearce a little run out up front. He's a slightly different type of player, but Air's not had the best game. And then I think, as much as I don't want to do it, do I take off the experienced man and go for a bit of pace at the back just in case? But he can't jump, and I don't like centre-halves that can't jump. it's a really difficult one for us because the bench is so weak. Let's just go back into it. We'll make the last 2 subs late on. For now, it's just the striker that changes, and he's got a chance from the corner kick, which is headed in by Lansley. Hits the post. There's the first threat of the back stick. It's a corner kick again. Can we cause some chaos from the other side? Bit difficult because they've got everyone back. But Curran will take it again. His delivery's been good. Gareth Edwards is up. What a good job we didn't take him off. And what a decision to pick him. All the work has paid off. We score from a corner. It's 2-0. It's game over. And now we can make some changes. I'm going to replace Jamie Crowther in the holding role with Bo Cornish. He will go into midfield with Edwards dropping into the holding role. And I don't even know which role he can play, but he won't be great at any of them. We'll put him box to box. And then I'm going to take Payne off at left back and give the youngster Nicholas a run out because I don't want to take the risk at centre half. And at 2-0, it should be job done. And as we head into 4 minutes of stoppage time, I think we can be pleased with this overall. It's not a massive win, but we've got to suffer 2 months without our star striker. We've got to keep putting up with average wing backs. And at the moment, we're winning comfortably. We're taking advantage of set pieces. And although it was against lower league opposition, I'm ticking that off as a good start. The big test will come next week though. We've got Aberystwyth at home in our first Welsh Premier League game. Will we have the new left back at the club? And will we be able to get a result? Well, a few interesting moments here. We've got the offer accepted for Webster, who was the one that they put a loan bid in for. He's then unwilling to negotiate because he's just joined his new club, so has rejected us outright. And now we've got another offer from our director of football. Is it going to be another left back? Is it going to be someone good? Let's see. It's a left midfielder, which is a bit weird. Another 16-year-old free agent. Not the best. But we haven't got any depth there. We mentioned that in the last game. There were no wingers on the bench. So Owen Roberts gives us a bit more flexibility with Curran and he gives us a solid backup. I mean, he's not great. He needs work on his personality, but he's okay. Well, another stop off and another director of football offer. I'm not sure what's going on here because we never see director of footballs at this level get 2 bids on the go for players at the same time. But here we are. What position is Scotcher? He is, centre midfielder, 3.5-star ability. Another position we have no depth. This could be incredible. We also saw our first centre midfield signing Grinnell break the youngest ever goal scorer record for this football club. But Scotcher at 28, I'm not going to get too excited because he's one who's contracted somewhere. And we've seen this with other players in the window and then they've not come in. He's not got great natural fitness. He'll only do 1 game a week. He's a good player. He's an upgrade on what we've got. And that would make our midfield 3 very competitive. We get him. I'm pretty sure we survive. Let's see if it comes off. New signing alert. Owen Roberts is in at the club. He is backup left winger. We'll make sure he's in the senior squad because he's certainly good enough for it. The only thing I want to do really is train him as an attacking left winger. And is he left or right footed? He is right only. So maybe we have a rethink about him. Do we train him as a righty? Do we keep him on the left? We'll decide that in a moment. But another good backup player into the club. And we are back for Friday night football, our first league game of the season. We are expected to be the whipping boys by the media. We still haven't got a great squad, but we are slightly improved. Now let's see, as we head through the tactical meeting, what side we can put out today. I'd imagine the starting 11 will be the same. Well, it is, but crucially, we get ourselves 7 substitutes in the Welsh Premier League. So the left winger is on, as is the young striker Finn Savage, who I'm a fan of despite his poor rating. The starting 11 though is exactly the same. We're just hoping for a similar outcome. So let's go and get into it. It's Airbus v Aberystwyth, and this will be a good benchmark for where we are in the Welsh Premier League. And here we are to face an Aberystwyth side that have only made 1 change themselves. And there's 2 legendary names of this channel I recognise in their starting 11. Charlie Edge was with us at Kefan Druids in the start of last year's head coach and was a superstar in that team. Couldn't ever stay fit though. And Ben Eriksson as centre half. We definitely had him at Bangor City. I'm not sure he was legendary status, but he was involved in that Builder Nation in FM21. So good to see some familiar names. We'll be hoping they don't have a good night tonight. Let's pump the fist. Let's tell the lads there's absolutely nothing to lose. Now go and deliver your best. Well, this isn't a very good game, as with 20 minutes gone, the visitors have got a goal kick. Don't let them score like this. Look who it is. Look who it is. The man I talked about pre-game has turned up with a 25-yarder. Not sure what the keeper was doing, not sure what the defence was doing. A simple goal kick over the top, and Aberystwyth, albeit with a very good finish, take the lead and look pretty comfortable. We're going to try and encourage the lads because they're not offering a great deal at the minute, and Aberystwyth are on the attack again. Are we perhaps being a bit too cautious? Are we just not as good as these sides? I didn't actually look to see where they were expected to finish. We'll do that at half time. As it's into Cummins, it's 2-0. And the keeper's caught out there. I think it took a deflection. But this game is falling away. We are going to need to do some thinking. Our best attacking player has just got injured in Curran. And with us 2-0 down, rather than trying to fight back and go for it, I think what we're going to do is we'll give him 10 minutes, but then we'll bring on Owen Roberts because I want to save him for a game that we might win, and this one probably isn't it. Right, we're making next to no impression in this game, but the long throw is out and it delivers absolutely nothing as Charlie Edge will bring the ball away. He's running rings round us here. I knew he was a good player from last year, but I feel like he's even better in this one as Phillips gets down the right. Maybe that's something to do with the level of opposition. Oh, it's a penalty. Against Thomason, the captain and best player. This is not the dream start we were hoping for in the domestic league fixtures. There's always the cup, eh? Charlie Edge sends his penalty in down the middle. It's 3-0. I'm going to rest Curran with his injury. Now let's just see what else we can do. Roberts on for him. We might as well do the centre-half gamble here. Edwards is struggling. He's lacking fitness. So let's bring on Wakona. And then can we make a third sub? Do you know what? I'm going to give it 5. And then I'm going to chuck on my youngster, Finn Savage. See if he's as good as I think he is. Not that we'll learn anything with the service our strikers are getting at the moment. We have to say it's not been a 3-0 game. Do we get 5 subs? We do. So let me just make a couple of late ones as well. We might as well bring on youngsters. Billy Nicholas will get his run out at left back. And we'll bring on Cornish for Grinnell because he's struggling physically. And we need to protect people at the moment. So we'll make those changes. We'll get into stoppage time. 5 changes will help throughout the season, but tonight has been a very big eye-opener. A 3-0 defeat at home to a side expected to finish in the bottom half. And if we don't get a couple of those big signings in soon, this could be a very long year in the Welsh Premier League, and maybe a regret in terms of a first job. Well, Craig Curran's injury means he will miss next week's game as well, so that is our 2 best attacking players and 2 of our 3 best players entirely who are now out of the team. And when we get those back, I think we'll see something a bit different. If we look at the schedule though, I don't think we're going to leave it too long because I want to show transfer deadline day, the first one with our director of football. If you're looking forward to that, seeing how our director of football does in the pressurised situation, then please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe for daily FM23 content. And give me your prediction. Where do you think we're going to finish this year? Will we see out the year or will we get sacked? We'll be back at 3:30 tomorrow with this one to find out. But in the meantime, at 11:30 tomorrow, we'll have part 2 of our Build a Nation save. You can find the first episode in the eye above if you missed it, as well as loads of other links, including the Twitch channel. We'll be starting our live stream series over there at 6:30 PM. So come and join us for some laid-back chat and FM fun. Fingers crossed we'll be able to improve on today's result. Episode 1 of the Build a Nation is above my head now. But I'll see you next time for transfer deadline day as our director of football tries to get us out of this mess.